Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video because we're going to be talking about the new e.l.f. Putty blushes. I'm so excited about these. I love e.l.f. e.l.f. is like one of those really good affordable makeup brands, and I'm really excited to get into this video. So if you want to see my review on the new e.l.f. Putty blushes, then keep on watching. Okay, so I picked up 5 of these e.l.f. Putty blushes. They all retail for $6 and you get 10 grams of product in each pot. 10 grams of product is a lot of product, you guys. Like, I was really surprised when I opened this up and saw how much product you get in each of these for $6. That's crazy. So here are the blushes right here. They come in this cute little pot, as you guys can see. I picked up 5. There's more than 5 that they released, but I just picked up the ones I thought would look really good with my skin tone. So I am going to show you guys face swatches of these new blushes. I did use a different application for each blush, as you guys will see in the demos. I know that there are many different people in the world who like to apply their blush differently, so I applied some with my finger, a stipple brush, a new putty applicator that e.l.f. just came out with, and I used a damp sponge. Along with these new blushes, e.l.f. released this new putty primer applicator. I believe this retails for $8, either $8 or $6. It'll be on the screen, but it's a double-sided brush. It's really meant for the putty primer. I did use this brush to apply one of the blushes. It comes with a little scoop on one end, so you can scoop out the product for like sanitary use and apply it to your face, and then use this, like, it's kind of like a dense brush, and buff it out into the skin. Love that they came out with this. I'm gonna first go in depth on each of these blushes and show face swatches as I'm talking about each blush, and then we're gonna get into application, which I think is the best way that worked for me to apply these blushes. So let's get started. Okay, so the first blush we're gonna talk about is the shade. It's so hard to see, you guys. e.l.f. put, like, on these little pots, they put small writing on there so you can kind of see the shade name, but it's so hard to read. So this one is Tahiti, and this blush, first of all, let me talk about the formula of these blushes, because I genuinely feel like this is a cream to powder formula. So once you put it on and you blend it out, it turns into like that putty powder type feel. I was really curious as to how e.l.f. was going to put this in the putty formula. How was this going to work out? But this is just like the putty primer formula, and if you love that, you're gonna definitely love the formula of these. And this one is the lightest blush that I tried. I did have to build this one up to get it to show up on my skin, but once I built it up, I kind of like the color. But I will say that I don't really know how this color is going to look on top of foundation, but as you guys can see in the demo, this was the lightest, and so far my least favorite one. But you guys do not worry, because the rest are literally my favorite. I'm telling you guys right now, the rest are my favorites. Let's go ahead and get into this one, which is called Caribbean. This one is so beautiful. It kind of is like a berry type shade. It's very stunning. This one is so pigmented, you do not need a lot of this. That was one swipe and then blend it out. Still pigmented. You can definitely build it up, but this one is definitely one of my favorites, and I am going to be putting this one in my everyday makeup bag. It's very stunning. The next blush is called Bali, and this one I thought was going to be a little bit too similar to my skin tone, but it's definitely not. This one it's like a brown, but it's like the perfect everyday blush. Like, if you don't want a lot of blush on, this is the perfect shade. I really like how it looked on my skin. I think this kind of could lean towards a blush slash bronzer. So if I really don't feel like wearing blush or a lot of blush, I would go in with this shade, because this shade is definitely like my perfect everyday blush. Next we have the shade Maldives. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry, but this one is basically the next step up from the last shade that we just talked about. This one is kind of like a burnt brick brown, and this one is very beautiful. I think this is the perfect fall shade. It's very stunning. I definitely really like this one. I thought it was going to be too dark for me, but you can definitely see the difference. This shade would just be so stunning with a nice warm brown matte lip. I can see that makeup look right now. This is such a beautiful shade, and I really, really love this one. This one's definitely one of my faves. Lastly, let's talk about the shade Fiji, which is the one I'm wearing right now. I love how this shade looks. It is very, very, very beautiful. It kind of leans towards a like orangey type blush, and I love orange blushes. I just love the wash of color it gives onto my skin. I just love the look of it, and I think this one is definitely my most favorite out of all of them that I've tried. This one is definitely my favorite. It looks so pretty on the skin. It's kind of subtle, but it's not really subtle. And I highly recommend this blush. You guys, I recommend all of these blushes. The formula is amazing. If you love the Putty primer, you're definitely going to love these blushes. But Fiji is definitely my favorite. I love this one. If you had to choose, like, let's say maybe two, I would choose Fiji, of course, and I would also choose Caribbean. So these two I would definitely choose. And if you're a person of color, you will love literally all of these blushes. The only one I would say you really wouldn't like, which was the lightest one on me, like if you're my skin tone or deeper, and that is the shade Tahiti, I would probably skip this one. But let's talk application. First off, I did use a damp sponge, and let me just tell you guys, if you're the kind of person that likes a full coverage, like heavy pigmented blush, but on certain days you like a lesser coverage blush, go in with a damp sponge, because as you guys saw in the demo, I like put a lot on this and then I put it on my face, and you guys saw how pigmented that was. But you can definitely make it less pigmented, sheer it out with the sponge. This might be for you if you're the person that loves the best of both worlds. Alright, so let's talk stipple brush, because this was my first time using a stipple brush, and I got this when I picked up the blushes. So basically, I really like this. This is for those kind of people who love more control when it comes to cream blushes. So first of all, let me just tell you guys, the bristles are kind of hard, but I had to remember that this was a stipple brush, and I kept wanting to like swirl it to blend it in instead of like actually stipple. But once I got the hang of stippling, I really loved how beautiful and blended it looked. So I would definitely be using a stipple brush some more. I really like the stipple brush. It's very interesting. I bought two of these, so I better like it, you know. Really liked using this stipple brush for this formula in particular. Let's talk the new Putty Primer applicator. So I did not use this side to scoop up the products. I didn't feel like it was needed for this product. But I will say I like using this after I use the stipple brush, just to make sure this is really blended into the skin. Love this. I love it so much. I'm going to go and buy another one as soon as I'm done filming this video, because I really, really liked it. So I'll have one for the blushes and one for the primers, because I really do like this. And it's the perfect size. It's so tiny, but it's like the perfect size. This is honestly really sanitary too. Like, I hated putting my fingers into that primer and then putting it onto my face, because sometimes it would get a little bit dirty. I know that's so gross to say, but it was just so unsanitary not having an applicator with that. And now we have one, and I'm really happy that they came out with this. It's about time. And then lastly, I did use my fingers. I'm not really a finger user type person when it comes to blushes, but I didn't really like how these applied with the finger, because I couldn't really blend it out. This isn't that kind of formula where it's like really creamy. It's like a cream to powder formula, so using my fingers did not work because it didn't really blend it out. It wasn't like once you put it on the face and you start blending, it turns into that powder. But yeah, you can definitely try out your fingers. You have them, they're free, so try it out first and then see if you like it. But me personally, didn't really like using my fingers for this particular formula. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.